It's a toolless adjustable gas block. You just twist it like that. How cool is that? Or is it? Welcome back to Country Mash, guys. I hope you guys have been awesome. Before we get into today's review, I gotta ask you guys, flat dark earth or OD green? Put down in the comments which one you think is cooler. Today's review is on the RifleSpeed toolless adjustable gas block, as mentioned before. It's a gas block that you just turn this little ring to change your setting. It's pretty cool. I had never heard of it until actually one of you guys brought it up on in a comment on the Country Mash Instagram page, and it really sparked my curiosity. So I actually reached out to the company, asked if they would send one out to the channel for review, and they much obliged. So shout out to RifleSpeed. That does not change how I review anything on this channel, just because I got it for free. It gets no free passes. So I'm going to be going over some reasons why you may want an adjustable gas block in the first place. I'm going to go over some reasons why you may not want an adjustable gas block. Then I'm going to go over some of the specs and details of the RifleSpeed toolless adjustable gas blocks, and then I will share my personal experience using it and some of the pros and cons. So just because it's a free product, guys, doesn't mean it gets to get away unscathed from talking about some of the cons that do come along with it. Nothing's perfect. If it was, you should have questions and wonder why. Probably something you want to stay away from. Anyways, let's kick it off by going over some of the reasons why you may want an adjustable gas block in the first place. So one of the main benefits of using an adjustable gas block is going to be being able to fine-tune your AR without having to play around with different buffer weights and springs. And fine-tuning your AR is just going to help aid in reliability, reduce parts wear, which helps with longevity. It's going to have a softer recoil impulse, and just overall better performance if you're able to tune your AR's gas system. Another benefit is going to be if you shoot suppressed, suppressors generally will add some back pressure, causing your AR to be overgassed, and therefore having an adjustable gas block will help mitigate that and help control how much gas can go back there. So if you're shooting suppressed, you're going to want to restrict the gas. If you take the suppressor off, you're going to want to open it back up a little to get it to cycle properly. Now, some of the reasons why you may not want an adjustable gas block is going to be just simple fact of if you have a finely tuned AR in the first place, and everything cycles great, and maybe you don't shoot suppressed, or maybe you do shoot suppressed, but it's tuned and you're never going to shoot it unsuppressed. There's not a whole need for an adjustable gas block, because the inherent fact that if you add more parts to your firearm, you're adding more parts that you have to maintain, and you're adding more parts that could potentially cause issues. Now, this is not a specific problem with adjustable gas blocks. This is just a law of nature. The more parts you add to something, the more that could go wrong. So just take that into consideration, and kind of with a grain of salt. So it just depends on if you're going to need or want an adjustable gas block for your application. So moving on to the specs and details, they're made out of a steel, and they have what appears to be a nitride finish on them. The weight on my scale is 3.6 ounces, which is slightly heavier than your regular gas block, but it's still much lighter than a front sight block. It does have two different methods to attaching it to your barrel. You are able to pin it, which a lot of people love, and it also has the two bottom set screws if you wish to go that route. RifleSpeed does have them available for different barrel profiles, and they come in 4 different control lengths, depending on where your gas block is relative to the length of your handguard. And to make it easy to figure out which length gas control you would need for your setup, they have a configurator online on their website. Each gas block has 12 easy to use settings that have repeatable adjustments, and the adjustments themselves are very tactile and positive, and the detent and spring is nice and firm. Now the detent, I should say, is actually a plunger, and each gas block will come with 2 different plunger options. One plunger will allow you to set your gas block so that no matter how low you turn it, it won't completely shut off the gas, and then the other plunger will allow you to shut off the gas at the lowest setting. Depending on what you're using your rifle for and the application that it has, it will depend on what plunger you want to run in your gas block. Because of its simple design, disassembly is really easy, and it also requires no tools. Back your control out to the 12th setting, and once it's there, you just kind of pull the spring in, which will release the detent from the control collar, and then you're able to continue unthreading that control collar to get it off. And because these RifleSpeed gas blocks are a little bit bigger and taller than your typical gas block, they do require straight gas tubes that RifleSpeed does supply. They recommend that the inside diameter of the handguard you're using be no smaller than 1.225 inches. So in regards to handguard compatibility, there are 2 known handguards as of right now that are not compatible. The first one is the PRI carbon fiber tube handguard. And it's kind of an old school handguard, so there's probably not a lot of you guys who have that handguard anyway. But the second handguard is the Aero Precision Atlas handguard. And I have it with me because I want to show you guys, technically, you can use this handguard. It just depends. So the inside diameter, or the inside area of the Atlas, it gets smaller back here and it's bigger up here. So if you have your gas block on your setup is somewhere towards the front, I would say the first 2 inches about. If your gas block is going to fall somewhere in this area, you should be good to go. But if it's further back, it's not going to fit. So it just depends. If you have an Atlas handguard and you're thinking of running a RifleSpeed gas block, just take some measurements, make sure it's going to fit first. It's just something you guys want to be aware of. It's good to know. And they also recommend a disassembly and cleaning schedule in their manual. However, my testing, along with a few others that I know, have just added a little CLP to the plunger every time you would oil your BCG, and that has kept it running just fine. The only problem you could really run into as far as it getting dirty is going to be a carbon buildup. So as long as you keep CLP on the plunger, it's just going to dissolve away the carbon that's on there. So then every time you go shooting, it's going to clear that out. And RifleSpeed does sell pre-built uppers with their gas blocks on there. So if you're wanting to get just a system ready to go, that option is available. Now to go over my personal experience, I only have about 900 rounds through it right now. I think with a gas block like this, it's going to take thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds before you're ever going to really kind of push it to its limits. I know I met someone actually local to me who has been testing one on their light machine gun and have been running it full auto, mainly full auto, suppressed and unsuppressed, and they have about 8,000 rounds through theirs, and they have not disassembled it to clean it. They just add some Slip 2000 to the plunger every so often. Just anytime you kind of think about it, when you would oil your BCG, just kind of throw a drop on there, and that's going to keep it running. So I think as far as its reliability, for anyone to really test that, it's going to take a lot of ammo and a lot of shooting. So with reliability and longevity, only time will really tell as more people start using these guys. But its user interface and how you're able to operate the controls, the detent and spring is strong enough to where you're not going to accidentally knock it on anything. I don't use gun cases, and I have not had this accidentally get adjusted by anything. So it's strong enough to not get moved, yet it's also just easy enough to where you can just twist it like that. So user interface, it's been a lot nicer than I'd originally expected. My first worry was that it was going to be something that was just going to get hit by other gear and accidentally twisted and rotated, but I haven't had that issue. Obviously, if you're getting the correct length to your handguard, it shouldn't be sticking out very far in the first place. And then if you're running suppressed, you have flashlights and other things kind of protecting it. It's going to be really unlikely that it's going to get accidentally bumped. So I haven't seen that to be an issue. It's really well made. I like the adjustments. I like the repeatability of the adjustments. I like the tactile feel of the adjustments. But there's a couple cons that come with something like this. First one being, and as some of you guys may have already guessed, it's going to be the price. These are around, from, if I can remember correctly, around $200. Maybe it's $220. I think it's $200 right now. So it's a little bit more expensive than some of the competitor adjustable gas blocks. However, if you want an adjustable gas block that is heavy duty, easy to use, and you don't want to have issues with it, this thing's pretty nice. So the only other con with that, aside from the price, is going to be the compatibility with your barrel length, your gas tube length, and the handguard length of the handguard that you're using. So you do have to put some thought into how your setup is going to be set up. So if you already have something laying around, you already have an AR sitting around, you're going to want to measure everything and then go on their website and use their configurator system to see if one of the control lengths will work with your system. And if not, you may have to get like a new handguard or whatever. So those are the only two real cons. Everything about this gas block, though, I really like. So I think it's good to go as of right now. But again, long-term reliability and long-term longevity, that's not something that I could test personally by myself. I think, with time, we're going to see more reports of that. But I am confident enough in this system that I will use this as a bedside gun. So that kind of shows where I think about the reliability. And yeah. So that's my breakdown of the RifleSpeed adjustable gas block. This upper, if you guys are interested, the upper is from RifleSpeed, and this is their, well, not there, but they assemble uppers with their gas block on it. So this is the Colt 11.5-inch upper. It's their Cold Hammer Forged chrome-lined Colt barrel, the Geisley Mark IV rail, and the OD green. Red dot is the Primary Arms MD25 red dot. I have a review on that. Definitely not a bad option. Surefire M600 and a JK Armament suppressor up front. Mounting system. I've fallen in love with the reared-in manufacturing muzzle devices. So this guy has their 3-prong flash hider. It threads, it's the same thread pattern and taper as the Q Cherry Bomb, but reared in just has more muzzle device options. They got some muzzle brakes, flash hiders, and stuff like that. So I really like their mounting systems. And yeah, that's this setup, guys. If you guys are interested in any of it, I'll link as much as I can down below. So hopefully you guys got something out of this review. Hopefully it was helpful if you guys are looking for a really cool adjustable gas block. Check out the RifleSpeed one. It's pretty cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.